Now then, robot I've never met before, do you know what a verb is? Correct. A verb is a word that describes an action. For example, you walked on stage and answered a simple question. Both walked and answered are verbs. Every verb has an infinitive form, which often begins with the word to. To walk, to answer, to catch, these are all infinitives. But to describe events in the past, present, or future, I must conjugate or change these verbs. Specifically, I must drop the to and alter their endings. So, without further ado, let us conjugate verbs in the present tense. In case you are unaware, ladies and gentlebots, verbs in the present tense describe events taking place right now. Permit me to use my celestial gifts to tell you about your present. You live in South London and work at a factory. You drink a cup of tea every day at 3 p.m. and carry a silver watch in your waistcoat pocket. Am I correct, sir? As you can see, conjugating verbs in the present tense is quite simple. In most cases, you just drop the to from the infinitive form. I work, you work, they work, and we work. When you describe the actions of a third person, though, you must add an S, as in he works, she works, and it works. Irregular verbs are another exception. These strange creatures cannot be conjugated in the ordinary way. Instead, each has a unique form. A common example is the verb to be. You cannot say, I be, he bees, they be. Instead, you must say, I am, he is, they are. And now I require another volunteer. You, sir. Excellent. Now, perfect stranger, let us use the past tense to describe events from long ago. After you graduated from school, you joined the Foreign Service, where you rescued a princess from a rogue elephant. As a reward, she presented you with a 12-carat emerald in the shape of a panther. Am I correct? As you can see, the method for conjugating verbs in the past tense is effortless. Just add ed to the end of your verb and by Jove, you've done it. The ed ending doesn't change whether you're describing an action taken by yourself, another person, or a group of people. I walked, you walked, he walked, they walked, we walked. But sadly, I must inform you that irregular verbs are far more common in the past tense than they are in the present tense. For example, you wouldn't say, I readed the complete stories of Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. Instead, you would say, I read the stories. And you wouldn't say, he fighted in the Crimean War. You would say, he fought in the war. If you desire a complete list of these irregular verbs, you can look them up in a book or on the World Wide Web when it's invented in 100 years or so. Speaking of the future, I shall need another volunteer. You, madam. My, what a charming lass. Now, allow me to conjure your secrets from the great beyond. Let me see. After this performance, you will board a train to Cambridge, and you are going to sit by the window. You will dine with a friend, and you are going to eat roast beef. To conjugate verbs in the future tense, you keep the infinitive form and add the word will in front of them. You may also use going to with the appropriate conjugation of to be. Thank you, thank you. And now the great Timothy will take some questions. There are indeed other tenses beyond the ones I described. Behold, if you will, this chart I have prepared. These perfect tenses describe events that don't neatly fit into the past, present, and future. For example, the present perfect tense often describes the actions from the past that affect the present. When I say, I have spent 10 years studying magic, I'm indicating that I have studied magic in the past, and also continue to do so today. And the past perfect is often used alongside the past tense to describe events that occurred even further back in time. So I never had met my volunteers before I walked on stage tonight.